Greetings and welcome to More Hymn Stories, number 100. Worthy is the Lamb. Worthy is the Lamb that was slain. Worthy is the Lamb that was slain. Worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power and riches and wisdom and strength, honor and glory and blessing. Worthy is the Lamb, worthy is the Lamb, worthy is the Lamb that was slain. Worthy is the Lamb. Worthy is the Lamb. The author and composer was Don Ritson, was born in 1942. The scripture reference is from Revelation chapter 5, verse 12. And our scripture reading is from the book of Revelation, chapter 4, verse 11, which reads, "Thou art worthy, O Lord, to receive glory and honor and power, for thou hast created all things, and for thy pleasure they are and were created." This popular contemporary hymn is based directly on the words from Scripture, a text that could well be the believer's theme throughout eternity. Revelation 5:12 reads, "Worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power and riches and wisdom and strength and honor and glory and blessing." Don Ritson, Director of Music Publications for Singspiration Music, recalls the events that led to the writing of this hymn. In 1970, I was in Mexico City assisting evangelist Luis Palau conduct a series of crusades. As the messages were in Spanish, I spent the time during the sermons writing new songs. One day, I became particularly impressed with the great truth of Revelation 5:12 and thought how effective this verse could be if only the proper music was used to enhance it. I thought about the music used in the secular song The Impossible Dream, and decided that a similar musical style would work well with these words. Worthy was first used in a musical titled Breakthrough, in which I collaborated with John E. Walford. In more recent times, I have worked with Phil and Lynn Brower in producing an Easter musical based on this hymn. God has used this song to bless and inspire his people during the past decade, perhaps more than any other work I have been privileged to write, for which I will be eternally grateful to him. Donald John Ritson was born on August 16, 1942 in Brooklyn, New York. He is the son of Jack Ritson, well-known founder and director of Word of Life International. From childhood, Don remembers a life of continuous exposure to outstanding Christian speakers and musicians through his family's ministry. Don's songwriting efforts began in his early teens. By the time he had finished high school, Don had already written a number of gospel choruses, which his father published in his Word of Life chorus books. In 1963, Don graduated from the Moody Bible Institute and 2 years later received a bachelor's degree in music from King's College. Desiring to be even better grounded in the scriptures, Don Ritson entered Dallas Theological Seminary and received his THM degree in 1969. During the summer of 1968 through 70, summers of 68 through 70, he also did graduate work in composition at North Texas State University. Throughout these years, Don was also involved in teaching music at the Dallas Bible College and the Dallas Theological Seminary, and served as music director at the Northwest Presbyterian Church in Dallas, Texas. It was during his seminary years that Don Ritzel became really serious about gospel songwriting. Several of his early successes were Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow, and The Day That I Met Jesus. In 1970, Don and his family moved to Grand Rapids, Michigan, to accept a position at Singspiration Music Incorporated as a writer and an editing assistant with John W. Peterson. In this capacity, Don arranged, orchestrated, and conducted various Peterson musicals and numerous sacred albums. Today, Don Ritson is responsible for all the music publications produced by Singspiration. Currently, Don has written or composed more than 200 sacred songs, including contemporary favorites such as Love Was When, Our Sacrifice of Praise, Unbounded Grace, and Finally Home. Mr. Ritson states that his goal in writing gospel music has always been to set God's truth to music in simple, attractive form. Once a new title or phrase inspires his thinking, he then spends more time developing the words of the song than he does the music. Don further believes that music itself has no absolutes, only the connotation that people give it, so that any style of music can be potentially used in the worship and service of God. Ritson believes that often the church confuses culture with scripture and traditional with the Christian life. He cautions, however, that a director or performer must be very sensitive to the spiritual needs and cultural tastes of the congregation when deciding on the style of music to use, as it is very possible that a certain association that people may give a style of music may make that music inappropriate for the Christian ministry. It is encouraging to realize that in every generation, God raises up individuals such as Don Ritson with the talent and spiritual convictions to communicate his eternal truths through the appealing yet easily understood means of gospel hymnody. Come, let us join our cheerful songs with angels round the throne. 10,000 are their tongues, but all their joys are one. Worthy the Lamb that died, they cry, to be exalted thus. Worthy is the Lamb, our lips reply, for he was slain for us. The whole creation joins as one to bless the sacred name of him that sits upon the throne and to adore the Lamb. And that was a poem at the end there by Isaac Watts. Hopefully you enjoyed this More Hymn Stories number 100. Worthy is the Lamb. And I look forward to seeing you on our next and last episode, More Hymn Stories number 101, Ye Must Be Born Again. Until then, we'll see you in our last episode sooner than you think. Bye for now, and take care, and we'll see you again soon.